he came in here and beat up on my body.
I done come from that. Now I'm trying to go the opposite way. I don't want to be walking around cracking people in the head and drive-by on people. That ain't me.
Pimp C has always been his own man. When he make up his mind to do whatever it is he want to do, that's what he gonna do.
What happens when two Southern rap legends, one a self-made mogul with an army of no-limit soldiers, the other a rebel genius who called himself the voice of Texas turned respect into warfare? This isn't just hip-hop beef. This was personal. Whispers of a hotel ambush, bruised egos, and one phone call that allegedly nearly sparked a murder. Was it business? Pride? Or something darker simmering behind the gold chains and platinum plaques? Tonight we dive deep inside Master P and Pimp C's savage rivalry, the violent beef that the industry tried to bury. And trust me, this story ain't sanitized for PR. When you talk about Southern rap, you're talking about two kingdoms, Louisiana's no-limit empire and Texas's UGK dynasty. Two worlds built on pride, hustle, and the kind of respect you can't buy, only earn. But what happens when those two worlds collide? You get a storm so explosive that even decades later, fans still whisper about what really went down behind hotel doors on phone calls and inside studios where collaboration turned into combat. Our story starts in the mid-90s when Master P wasn't just a rapper, he was the general, a businessman with a military vision. The man who said, "I built No Limit with $10,000 in a dream." His label looked like an army silk, the Shocker. Mia X, Mystical, Some Murder, Fiend, each one marching under the same golden tank. Meanwhile, Pimp C was busy rewriting the rules of Texas rap. Half of UGK alongside Bun B, he was the voice of Port Arthur, a city that didn't ask for validation from New York or LA. His beats dripped with soul and his mouth unfiltered. Now, imagine those two forces, one militant, one rebellious, crossing paths. It started innocent, a feature, a collaboration, a mutual respect between two kings of the South. But as with every Southern legend, pride has a short fuse. The trigger? A phone call. According to multiple accounts, some verified, most whispered in studios and smoky backrooms, Master P allegedly called Pimp C's mother, Mama Wes, trying to book her son for a session. The fee was $10,000, standard Pimp C business. But here's where it spiraled. Mama Wes stood firm. Her son was already locked in with another artist. Same rate, same day. Business is business, right? Well, not for P. Insiders claim Master P didn't take no kindly. The conversation got heated. Voices were raised. Words crossed the line. And for Pimp C, there was only one rule: you never disrespect Mama Wes. Later that night, in true Pimp C fashion, he took it to the stage. No subliminals, no codes, he said it plain. F*** no limit. The crowd lost it. Thousands chanted it back. It wasn't a beef anymore. It was a declaration. That's the moment the Southern air changed. Every DJ, every promoter, every rapper between Houston and Baton Rouge started picking sides. Was Pimp C right for standing on principle? Or was Master P right for defending his name? And while fans argued on street corners and in barbershops, something darker was brewing behind the scenes. Because when respect gets bruised in the South, it doesn't heal easy. And what came next? It wasn't a diss track. It wasn't a tweet. It was violence. Whispers of a hotel in Sugarland, Texas, a knock on the door, masks, gloves, and a beating so brutal that it would leave scars not just on a man, but on the entire culture. That hotel in Sugarland, Texas, yeah, that's where the story turns from rap drama to street legend. According to every anonymous insider who swears they were there, and probably a few who weren't, Pimp C was staying at a residence inn, finishing work on Ridden Dirty, UGK's masterpiece. But that night, sleep wasn't on the menu. What came knocking wasn't room service. It was revenge. As the story goes, around midnight, a group of masked men forced their way into his room. Among them, allegedly, was the man himself, Master P, wearing gloves, calm, and carrying a pistol. It wasn't a robbery. It wasn't random. It was a message. One witness claimed, they held him down. P just started swinging, hitting him with the gun, telling him, "You know what this is about?" When it was done, Pimp C was left bloodied and dazed. His face swollen, ribs cracked, ego shattered. And according to the myth, before leaving, Master P pulled off his mask, looked him dead in the eye, and said, "Now you know who you talking to." Now, whether that part is truth or street fiction depends on who you ask. Master P's camp has always denied it. But the thing about legends? They don't need paperwork, just retellings. And in Houston, every retelling made it worse. Every DJ added a new detail. Every mixtape dropped another exclusive. Soon it wasn't just a beating, it was a Southern Mafia move. For Pimp C, that night broke something deeper than bones. It broke his trust. He started to see enemies everywhere, in labels and studios, even in the industry friends he thought had his back. His Mama West, said he wasn't the same after that night. Paranoid, angry, obsessed with respect. Meanwhile, the rumor mill went nuclear. Bloggers called it the Southern Ambush. Fans posted theories that Jay Prince, the quiet godfather of Houston rap, had to step in to stop it from escalating. Allegedly, someone from Master P's circle even called Houston asking for permission to take care of Pimp C, and Prince shut it down instantly. Was it true? Who knows? But in the South, when you hear that Jay Prince had to tell people to chill, you know it was serious. The industry started to pick sides again. Some said P was just protecting his name. Others said he'd gone too far, that he'd turned a rap disagreement into a personal war. And as for Pimp C, his response wasn't another diss. It was silence. He disappeared for a while, nursing his wounds and his pride. But silence in hip-hop is never peace, because every day he stayed quiet, more rumors grew. That he was plotting revenge. That he'd started carrying heat. That he wanted to settle this Southern Dash style dot, and soon that tension, that slow, simmering anger, would explode again. This time, not in a hotel room, but in the headlines. By the early 2000s, the Master P versus Pimp C feud wasn't just a whisper anymore, it was a wildfire. Every magazine, every radio host, every street corner conversation had a version of the story. But what came next pushed this beef from legend to infamy. After the rumored hotel attack, Pimp C started moving differently. His interviews turned sharp, his lyrics got darker, and his trust in the industry completely vanished. He called out fake friends, shady labels, and industry snakes, often with that signature UGK drawl and venomous delivery. But buried between the bars were subliminals aimed right at Master P lines like, "You can't buy the South. You gotta bleed for it, and respect ain't sold in no limit store." Yeah. Fans knew exactly who he meant. Meanwhile, Master P went full politician mode, denying everything but talking in circles like a man who knew the truth was dangerous. In one radio interview he said, "I don't deal with disrespect. I handle business. And when you cross that line, you see what happens." That one line became viral, remixed, looped, and quoted in every hip-hop conspiracy video on the internet. But the streets? They weren't laughing. They were choosing sides. Houston radio stations started banning No Limit records out of respect for Pimp C. Baton Rouge retaliated by pulling UGK songs from rotation. Shows got canceled. Promoters backed out. And behind the scenes, according to a leaked industry report, the FBI was allegedly monitoring both camps for possible gang ties and organized retaliation threats. Sounds wild, right? But that's what happens when hip-hop beef starts looking like a crime documentary. Then came the ultimate twist: Pimp C's arrest. In 2002, he was sentenced to 8 years in prison after an altercation in a mall turned violent. Officially, it was aggravated assault. But conspiracy theorists had a different take. They claimed Master P's people had planted witnesses, that the whole thing was a setup to keep C off the streets. One anonymous former bodyguard even said they needed him gone for a while. Too much heat, too many secrets. And while Pimp C sat behind bars, Master P's empire began to crumble too. Artists left No Limit, the label's image cracked. Some said it was karma. Others said it was strategy, that maybe P had made too many enemies to keep winning when Pimp C, finally got released in 2005, the energy had changed. He didn't talk about Master P directly, but in one cryptic radio moment he said, "Some things don't need to be spoken on. God already handled that." Fans went crazy. The message was clear. The war was over, but the wounds were permanent. And that's how a clash between two Southern icons, two men who built empires from nothing, turned into one of the most violent, controversial, and mysterious rivalries in hip-hop history. Because in the South, beef ain't about charts. It's about respect. And once that's broken, no apology, no money, no record deal can fix it. So now you know the story they never wanted out, the secrets buried beneath platinum records, and the scars left behind the fame. But here's the real question. Was it all pride, or was someone pulling strings behind the scenes? Was this beef really about respect or control? Because every rumor, every leaked tape, every sudden silence from insiders points to something bigger. And the truth? It's still out there, hiding behind contracts, closed doors, and faded loyalty. What do you think really happened that night in Sugarland? Did Master P go too far, or did Pimp C ignite something he couldn't control? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading everyone. Smash that like button, share this with your crew, and hit subscribe. Because next time, we're uncovering another untold chapter of hip-hop history they're still scared to talk about.